welcome back to Ryan's Garage. So today, what are we doing in the garage? Something fun and exciting. Kinda. We're gonna put the pickup truck on hold for just a little bit. We have another project that needs to be attended to right now, and that would be the tune-up on my RV. Okay, the RV is it's a 2001 Ford E450. It's kind of old, so when I pull the race car with the trailer, it's a heavy load on there. The trailer, I think, is 9,000 pounds. So when I do that, it's starting to misfire. So I'm thinking that maybe it's time to replace spark plugs. But also while I'm in there, I'm going to put new coils in it too, because it's time. As over time they start to break down, the truck sits a lot more than it runs. It only has like 40,000 miles on it, which normally doesn't mean that it needs plugs, but in this case, I think we're just going to throw some plugs on it. So before we head out to the truck and I show you how to do that, I'm going to show you some things that you need to do on the bench before you take off. All right? Watch this. It'll be fun. So one of the first things that you want to do is you want to get your plugs and your coils ready to go, all right? These spark plugs here, I've checked the gap on them, all right, and they're all good. Now, another thing I like to do is I like to take some of this, which is Never Sees compound. Be careful with this stuff. Once you crack that open, man, it's like you start to look like the Tin Man. It gets everywhere. I don't know how, but it does. It's terrible. So what I like to do is I like to take just a little bit, a very light brushing, I feel like Bob Ross, all right, and just go on the threads. Just a little dab will do you, all right? Now, the reason why we do this is because the cylinder heads on the truck are aluminum. And we do that so we don't risk galling the threads or tearing the threads out of the aluminum heads, right? It's the first thing we do. Second thing we do is we take some of this. What's upside down? Sorry. Dielectric grease, okay? You ever notice on a tube like this, whether it's dielectric grease or it's silicone, the cap has that little pin on the top of it? Well, there's a reason for that. I'm going to take the cap off and I'll show you. If you take the cap off and flip it upside down, it pokes a perfect hole in the actual tube. Pretty cool, huh? Bet you didn't know that. So what I like to do is I like to take each individual coil and boot and I put just a little dab of dielectric compound inside there. See that? Reason for that is it keeps corrosion from building up on the tip of the spark plug, on the end here, on this tip. And it makes sure that the spark that comes out of the coil goes through the spark plug and not into the cylinder head. So I'm going to continue to prep all these, all right? And then when we go to put them in, of course, we always use a spark plug socket. We never use a regular socket. Reason being is because inside said spark plug socket is a rubber boot. And that rubber boot will protect the porcelain on the spark plugs. Whenever you purchase new spark plugs, it's always a good idea just to check them, okay? Make sure that the porcelain, which is this part right here, isn't cracked. And on these, it's not. Also, inside the spark plug, that white area there is also porcelain. See, the Never Sees is all over my fingers already. My God, that's also porcelain, all right? So you want to make sure that that isn't cracked, which none of these are. Now you'll notice these are Autolite spark plugs. When you're changing spark plugs in a vehicle, there are certain plugs that go with certain cars, all right? On a Ford, you want to use nothing but Motorcraft or Autolite. On a Chevy or a GM product, it's a good idea to use AC Delco. The reason for this is because there's an internal resistor in there, and the internal resistors will have an effect on how the engine runs. So, Autolites and Motorcrafts and Fords, AC Delcos and Chevys. If you have a Dodge, sorry for your luck, you need to use a Champion spark plug. Champion spark plugs work on two things: lawnmowers and Dodges, and that's it. Do not put a Champion plug in a Ford unless it says Dodge or Briggs & Stratton. Don't put a Champion plug in it, all right? So if you have a Asian car, you'd want to use a Denso or an NGK. If you have a European car, you should be ashamed of yourself, but if you should happen to have a European car, it'd be a good idea to use a Bosch plug in that, all right? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to head out to the RV, and I'm going to show you how we access these spark plugs, because it's not easy. This job is going to suck. So strap in, folks. It's going to be a good time. See you soon. Okay, so as you can see, we're under the hood of the RV, and you can see that you can't see. Those spark plugs and those coils are nowhere to be found, so we have to do a little digging to get to that. First thing we do is we remove this part here, which is the air horn. Throw it in the grass. Unbolt the air filter. Get stuff out of the way so we don't lose it. I like to do is take these bolts and throw them in the grass. That's not good. Hang on. I got it. Take these bolts and I lay them up here on the cow panel. So that way I don't lose them like I almost did. Almost. Stuttering idiot today. Unplug the mass airflow sensor. Easier said than done. It's hard to do with two hands. Set the camera down here. Let me get you a shot of that. There's my thumb. Good boy. Okay. There we go. Take that out of the way. Now you can start to see the coils. There's one there. There's one buried under there and further back. But that's just those coils. We got to get them all. So how do we go about doing that? We have to go inside the truck. I'll show you that next. So on a van type of vehicle, whether it's a van or an RV or whatever, they usually have what's called a dog box. Okay. So I can zoom out, and I guess that's about as good as it gets. The dog box is this thing right here in the center. Okay, it's in two pieces. The first piece here has like all the little apartment compartments and the cup holders and all that stuff. You pull that up and off like that. Move it out of the way. Put it on the seat. Now, fortunately for me, the Ford Motor Company got smart over the years, and they realized that these things have to come off. It used to be there was 2 bolts on the floor. Now, you flip this down, pull it up, and it unhooks. Same thing over here. Oh God, look at all the dirt in there. Ugh, I gotta clean that. Up it comes. Then there's 2 clips on the side. Like that. Like that. You grab it and pull it out. Oop, pull the panel off the dash, that's fine. All right, let me get this out of the way, and I will be right back with you. Sit tight a second. So after some finagling, I was able to get the dog box off. You can see now we can see the back of the engine, and that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, here's my injector. Right next to my injector is my ignition coil, right there. I have to take this cover off, right, and then I'll be able to get to all the coils. So we'll get let's get this crap out of the way. Looks like 8 millimeters. And then to get the coils off, it's just a matter of unplugging them like that. And I believe it's a 7 millimeter socket. Unplug the injector too, yeah. 7 millimeter socket right there. And the coil will come out. All right, sit tight and I'll show you that. So as you can see, once I removed this out of the way, it opens it up and there's plenty of room in there to get to all the coils. And if you had to change an injector, you could do that as well. So it sucks. This job sucks, but it's not god awful. You know what I mean? So I waited for a day today. Today's a nice day. It's not real hot out. Obviously, this thing doesn't fit in my garage, so I have to do it outside here in the driveway. So basically, all you do is just go down the line with your 7 millimeter socket. You're going to unbolt each coil. Alrighty, let's get that bolt out of there. Come on, it's long. Okay, get that out of the way. Just pull the coil up. Oh boy, she's stuck. Ooh, up and out. There's your old coil. Kind of looks crappy. Alright, let's go after the plug. Okay, spark plug socket. Ratchet. Come on, ratchet. Ratchet already. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's get the first plug out. Sorry if I'm a little shaky on the camera. It's kind of hard with 2 hands. One of them holding the camera and the other one trying to do the job. So it can be a little daunting task sometimes. All right. Come on. Oh, I'm gonna need a magnet. Let me get a magnet. I'll be right back. Okay, magnet in hand. And the first spark plug is, well, it's a Motorcraft, which is kind of good. Now, That's interesting. Ford used to paint the tips of the end of the spark plug to show you that they're original. So that means that this thing's had plugs changed in it already. That's a little scary. What the hell does that mean? You can see the gap is kind of worn on it. Okay, doesn't look terrible though. So we'll go through, we'll do the inspection, same like you would as if you're putting a new one in. You check the porcelain. That porcelain looks pretty good. You check the porcelain here. Now that has a little bit of discoloring to it. That could be fuel additives, especially when it's brown like that. But otherwise it looks pretty good. There's not a lot of crap on it, which is good. All right, so I guess what we're going to do next is, I don't know if I told you, maybe I didn't. This is a V10, so 5 per side. I'm going to be here all damn day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the camera off because you don't need to watch me do the same thing over and over and over 10 times over. So I'm going to shut the camera off, spare you all that. And I'm going to knock these out. And then when I'm done, we'll come back in for a final recap. Also, I think what we're going to do is we're going to climb under this sucker and we're going to change the fuel filter too, because that's kind of old as well. All right then, back in a little while with dirty, sweaty hands. See ya. All right, we're back. So as you can see, I hope you can see, all new coils, all new plugs. That side over there was hard. The passenger side was hard. There was so much other crap I had to take out just to get to it, but we got to it. As you can see, not exactly a clean job. A lot of this is done by feel, not by sight. You literally just reach up in there and grab something, hope it's it, disconnect it. Let's see how we did. I'll maybe start. It would look very embarrassing if it didn't start. Oh! I started it before. There you go. Running smooth. All done. Next up will be the fuel filter. Wait for that. That'll be fun. So it turns out that the fuel filter that I got was incorrect, and nobody has the correct one for this truck. It has to be ordered because it's an RV, I guess. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this video today. But we got the plugs and the coils all done, so that's a good thing. It's running smooth. We'll see how it does next time I go to the track, whenever that might be. If FedEx would deliver the part that they say has been delivered, it'd be helpful. But you know, they say it's been delivered, but that it's not delivered. And then I check it again today and it says it's on the truck waiting to be delivered. So if it's been delivered, why is it on the truck waiting to be delivered? I guess the truck's parked in the dude's driveway. He's drunk at home. Anyway, thanks FedEx for nothing. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject here. So I'll finish this project another day with the fuel filter. Maybe I'll show you that one. Maybe then again, maybe I won't. So as always, learn something today. Otherwise tomorrow, somebody's gonna call you a shithead. Thanks for watching.